Hello, hello. Today I thought we would talk brake vans. This here is a brake van. Now, if you're only familiar with the modern railway scene, you've probably never seen a brake van in service, at least in the UK. Put simply, it's a wagon that goes at the back of a goods train that houses the train guard. They contained a brake, which could be used to assist the locomotive brakes, or in the event of a coupling snapping, the guard could halt the breakaway portion of the train. The van would have a veranda or a lookout to enable the guard to keep an eye on the train. A tail lamp would hang on the back of the van so that if part of the train did break away, the signalman would know instantly as the train passed and could alert other trains to watch out for loose wagons. In general, in the days before modern braking systems, which give the driver total control of every wagon, the van made it a lot easier and safer to handle heavy goods wagons. However, from the 1960s onwards, fitted wagons became more common, and modern diesel locomotives with two cabs enabled the guard to keep an eye on things from the engine. The legal obligation to include a brake van on every train was lifted in 1968. In later years, they found other uses. Some preserved railways did, and some still do, use them as ersatz coaches. They can be used to house extra staff, for instance, if a load is valuable or dangerous. But in general, if you model the steam era, you probably need at least one brake van. This is the British Railways standard 20-ton brake van, or at least the version from the railroad range. Yes, this is another cheapo detailing job. There are more detailed versions of this van available, but you can pick this version up dirt cheap second hand, and I'm about to show you how you can upgrade it with minimal effort. The colour looks fine, as do the markings, so I'm not going to do anything about those. The main thing I'm going to do is pick out the details on the moulding. So what I mostly want to pick out is the lamp irons and the railings. I'm using quite a fine brush here, not getting too much paint on it. Now, as is so often the case with my painting projects, it's not the end of the world if the paint job isn't perfect. This is meant to be a workaday van, grubby, shabby, gets knocked out a bit. Kind of like that disreputable uncle your mum doesn't like you hanging out with. That's that done. Actually didn't take very long at all. If I was going for a more detailed paint job, then I probably would have spent more time on it, but for my evil purposes, that looks fine. Next stage. So now to paint the frames with my old favourite. Did I just knock the camera? Yeah, well. With my old favourite Rail Match Weathered Black. I'm also going to paint the end platforms. Now, I can't seem to get a straight answer on whether these were black like the frames or bauxite like the body. I'm sort of hedging my bets. I'm going with a thin coat of weathered black, through which you can kind of see the bauxite. It's possible that there was no definitive guideline that different works did it in different colours. It's also possible that they were bauxite, but they kind of faded with time. Just who knows? It's all a lot of detective work, and I'm a very busy guy. That's that done, and once that dries, it's time to apply the weathering. There we go, finished. I don't know if you can hear, but it's actually pouring with rain outside. That's not relevant. I just thought, if you heard some sort of strange noise, it was not spontaneous applause. Anyway, I have done the weathering in my customary style. Bit of eyeshadow, bit of watercolour. Put a little bit of soot up there around the stove chimney, just because that's a place where soot would gather. But yeah, I've gone for a sort of mid-level weathering, and I'm quite pleased with the way that's turned out. So there you have it, finished. a low-budget BR standard brake van, the perfect way to round off your goods train. Hurrah!